Now Maya. What is this? Two Maya files. Okay. So like to work on Maya, if you have an image reference, Maya have something called image plane, and we can keep that image plane in the background and try to model our like object or prop or anything based on that, snapping everything. So this is front view. Reference is front view. So I'll go to front view. You can see front view, and front view. You can see image plane. Import image. Due to some strange reason, this thing takes a little time. I don't know why. Desktop. There's an easy way to model this also, but that is in Max, not in Maya. So I think you guys like don't know Maya, but there's no class for don't know Max. There is no class for Max yet, so that's why I'm not showing that process. So once, I guess next year, we're planning to give you Max as well. So that time will show the process. That's pretty easy. That makes your life way easier. Say image. You can see there's the image plane, and proportion wise, everything wise, perfect, all same. Now this is basically a cylinder, right? This is basically a cylinder, so I'll use a cylinder. So make sure align the image plane, not the object. Vertex mode. So you can see this little narrowing down, reason slightly in perspective. So but we know handle it should be same. And till here, you can go to wireframe, or maybe wireframe mode, face mode. Select this, shift, select this to the delete. Now based on the parts, this one is metal, rest is wood, so I'll just add a cut here. Edge mode, shift, scale, and scale it down. Object mode, shift, multi-cut, add a cut here. So you see, all I'm using the center part, like scaling this thing in uniform order. So make sure use that, but not scale left or right or this thing, but it will distort the model. Shift, right click, drag, scale down. So you can see scale is slightly off. So I'll go to perspective mode. This edge is selected, both of them. Now scale it down. So if you're following this top portion, follow the same thing for everything else. Image plane, push it back. Now we have this blade. This blade is basically a plane, it's nothing else, that's it. So I'll use a plane here. Rotate J 90 degree. So double check it, 90 degree. Number of planes I won't just keep 1 keep it little extra, doesn't matter. Keep it extra. Object mode, multi-cut. Now just simply trace it out. You can see it's not perfectly straight, slight bend is there. Just check, yeah. Enter. Face, face, delete. We got the basic structure. Multi-cut. Now start snapping. So initially try to keep everything quad. Everything is quad. Now I won't add thickness, I'll just simply create the basic structure first, then I'll mirror it. Mirror it, so for front and back both I'll get it. So this is not my low poly, this is my base model for low poly and high poly. So I'll try to keep everything like clean, number of loops and everything clean, all quads, and then slowly I'll add details here. So here I can clearly see there is one more cut here, this blade, this depth, and this thing is supposed to be slightly narrow, so narrow it down slightly. So you can see I'm missing one cut here, so I'll add one loop, vertex, push it. Now this one. So here also now I can see two cuts, multi-cut, control, one, two, so I'm just adding cuts here. Now this alignment wise I can see clearly little mismatch. Okay, now all those loops are ready, everything is ready. Face mode, okay. Okay, all of them are selected. Extrude, this blue arrow, push it inside slightly. So you can see everything is clean, neat and clean. Now let's close this thing, extrude, collapse. Extrude, collapse. So this base is ready. See, so all the loops and everything is proper alignment. Yes, like because it's in perspective, maybe it's like slightly mismatch, but it will look almost the same from from little distance. And all these things are rings, all those loops are not required in low poly. So this will act as by high poly and low poly. So I'll just simply save this thing. Okay. Okay. Now this knife. Multi-cut. Create this thing. This loop is required. So this is also quad. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So all those cuts added. Basic shape is ready. Basic shape is ready. Now this blade. So I have to check it from top view. So top view, you can see it's perfectly center. So but there is little thickness, so you need to push it slightly off center. Keep it little extra thick, like in games and all and movies, like unless it's really close up shot, we keep it little thick, otherwise it flickers, like front and back flickers, so that's a problem. So keep it like that and then fix this thing. Now this I feel this looks is okay, it's touching here only, so I just snap it back. Let's double check, merge everything. Yeah. So front side, I really can't see anything, any like sharp edge or something, but I have to create that. So this thing needs to bend slightly. So you can see if I push this, it's bending the entire surface. That means I cannot do it. Enter. N-gons, no problem. And to hold this, I can add a cut here and remove this one. Otherwise it will bend the entire surface. Little push it back. Now basic surface is ready. Let's have slight cut here and it should snap here. Now mirror Z. So Z, if you create this, you see, and this is like very high, so 0.1 should work perfectly. This should have little thickness here. So I'm not merging it because I need this thickness. Smooth angle is not required. So I got this thickness, and now make it narrow. Now front side, it's supposed to be thin, and this blade part collapse. That collapse thing crashed. Thank God I saved my file just now. Oh, that bleed thing, I have to redo it. Okay, no problem. See, mirror Z, switch of symmetry, history, delete history. Oh, I guess I need to move it. Yeah, slightly off center. History, freeze, mirror Z, thickness, border. Sorry, got the thickness, it's way too thick. That's not a problem, that is something I can fix it very easily. Save file, center, and reduce it. So basic structure of this is ready. Now save file. So this part, all of them should collapse like this. You have this thin surface, One more thing I can do, because this is my base for high poly and low poly. Select all of them, and make it really narrow. Oh, my bad. Have a cut. And front part, like nothing is visible here, but this should also have little thickness here. Because if a knife is like this broad, that's technically useless. Or it can collapse also, this thing. So now you got this nice blade. Just top part, this part. Okay, if this thing is happening, camera, if you go close and this thing vanishes, you need to fix the camera. So go to select camera, view, select camera, near clip, far clip. So near clip, make it 1. Oh, sorry. Zero, 0, 1. So see, now it's not going. Collapse. This becomes sharp, sharp, pointy. Make sure add a cut here, add a cut here, add a cut here. Reason we add cut, if I press 3, it will hold the shape and generate this detail. One. So you can see, let me change this material. Right click, new material, blend or form, apply. So now you can see, if I move the camera, you can see that reflection, it's separate. And plus this thing looks little odd. Control and shift back. Control delete. The shading gone. You can see basic shape of this is ready, basic shape of this also ready. Save file. There are n-gons, no need to worry, n-gons are okay. We'll like, because this is only and only base model, this is not your low poly, not your high poly. We'll use this for low poly and high poly. So you can, for low poly you have to optimize this, and for high poly we have to add detail in this model. So this is now this is going to act as my base for high poly. So if I press 3, so check that this is this works, press 3. So the moment you press 3, you can see most of the edges become round, and that's a problem. Then multi-cut, add a cut, add a cut, especially all the corners. Minimum of 2 loops. And now if you press 3, so you'll see all the edges are nice sharp and nicely beveled. All the corners are nicely beveled. These lines become little rounded. That is something again I can fix if I want. I can add loops here and fix those. Save. At least 2 loops. Okay, now this one, I missed this one. Okay, now save and press 3. So now you can see all the shaped lines, nice, crispy, clean, This works perfectly for me. So for this, this smooth version of this model works perfectly. I can just bake it, and all this detail, all this grains and everything, I can do it in texture directly. So for this, I don't have to create a good quality high poly in ZBrush. So this works perfectly for me, and this is also, see, face shape, all the information. Because if you don't create this thing, you won't have this light this bend or this transition, so it won't look nice. So this is required. Okay, now this is ready. This is my blade is ready, and I can just optimize this. My high poly also will be ready. Low poly and high poly both will be ready. Now I need to create the axe. So let's see. Now this one is not required. I can delete this thing. So now if you check the reference, the axe base and this one is exactly same size. This fits into this, and this ring fits here. So if you see here, that ring, if you zoom in, that ring, it fits perfectly. So just keep it open next this thing. So now one more thing I need to analyze is the length of the axe compared to the blade knife. So let's open this. Let's open this one. So now if this is my one, this thing, entire thing, this thing fits inside this, so I need to plan accordingly. Let's see, B, pick some color. So this is my one. Control J, T, do not distort or anything, otherwise we'll. So you see this in perspective, the entire length of this knife length and the length of this axe looks almost same size. Looks almost same, but this is in perspective. That means it's slightly elongated than this, slightly longer than this. So that is something I have to assume, eyeball it and do it. Now this blade part, like from here, from this ring to blade, this part going inside this section. Let's change the color. So from here, so roughly you can see almost 3/4 of this thing. So I can create something, a box or cylinder something, and 3/4 of this for blade size, the same size of the blade, and then one more section. Because this is something you don't have a side front view, most of the time you won't have it. So you have to eyeball and measure it like this and understand and create something. So my axe is ready. So axe knife, knife is ready. Knife, a group. Now this thing, I just simply move it one side. Control D, history, move back to 0, -3 something. Oh my bad, delete. 0, control D, shift P, unparent, and then move the knife. Oh, I did a mistake. I should duplicate the entire thing. Move on. Yes, this thing. History. Clean everything. Save your file. So, this entire blade and thickness of this is exactly same. So, because this should fit here, that means this is my thickness. So let's shift right click, delete rest of the part. So, and this thing, center, slightly move up, or you can measure it like this also if you want. Zero. So it will fit here perfectly. Axe size, like this is 3/4. And then almost one more. So 1 box, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is here, like 2 more. Okay. So like this, I'll get the basic. This is, see, this is cylinder, but axe handle is like base is cylindrical. Top part is not cylindrical. If you notice this thing, it's not cylindrical anymore here. So I need to change the shape also, but I got the basic height, and then like flatten this and check everything. Let's save this. Like this we measure, and then we'll create. So you can see like it's within an hour I'm able to like create my knife, and I got the basic height of the axe handle. So if you have like 7-8 hours a day, you can definitely finish your like base model, your low poly, and you should be able to push it to ZBrush also. Like maybe you're not able to finish your high poly, but you should be able to finish push it to ZBrush and start like checking everything, like everything is correct, all shapes and everything is correct. And then because this particular test is very like they have very tight time, like 2 to 3 days. So if I go by this speed, I can definitely finish it very easily. So but like yes, we have only 1 hour class, so I won't be able to finish this thing, but I'll show you the entire thing, so we'll take more time. So what you do, I guess I mailed you this reference and this thing. If you want, you can create the same thing and follow everything, or if you want, you can choose something similar, something similar